For the past 10 years, every Friday at 8 PM I've logged onto Steam and Discord so I can play games with 3 of my best friends. It's a tradition, a sacred ritual of co-op chaos, questionable strategies and just enough beer to make it all more fun. We've battled through games like 7 Days to Die, Valheim, The Division 1 and 2 and even more. We've laughed, we've yelled and we've thoroughly embarrassed ourselves several times. But most importantly, we've always looked forward to this weekly escape. Now, if you've ever played games with your friends, you know how important a gaming rig and a decent audio setup is. You don't want to sound like a broken robot or the local weather station during a thunderstorm. Unfortunately for my friends, that's exactly what my mic sounded like thanks to EMI or electromagnetic interference. Needless to say, they weren't thrilled. Apparently my onboard solution just wasn't good enough. And their constant complaints sent me on a quest to fix the issue. And that's how my adventure into gaming began. Now, this wasn't my first brush with audio gear. 30 years ago I was already tinkering with hi-fi setups like a Marantz amp, KEF speakers. Now those were my favorites. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not some hardcore audiophile, but I knew just enough to realize that eliminating EMI was my top priority. So I dug out an old X5 Fatality sound card, problem solved. The interference was gone and my gaming audio was suddenly incredible. The only downside, the X5 was ancient. It used PCI instead of PCI Express, which meant that it couldn't join with my next PC build. And that's when I discovered the Asus Xonar AE. Not only did it solve my EMI issues, it also introduced me to something called the Sabre Digital to Analog Converter. I was so excited, I spent hours researching it and shared every detail with my gaming crew. Naturally, they didn't care one bit, but Mike, one of my friends, said,
"Hey Anton, you have a lot of knowledge about that subject. You should make videos about sound cards and other hardware and put them on YouTube."
Mike already had a channel of his own, Iron Mics, so I thought, well, why not? And that's how Anton's Hardware was born. Starting out was both exciting and overwhelming. I had absolutely no idea how to edit, write scripts, or to keep up with a content schedule. And let's not even talk about those very first videos, they were frankly awful. But I kept going because I just loved it. At first I reviewed whatever I had laying around, from sound cards to headset, and even experimented with side topics like a Pi-hole ad blocking.
So, before you get to the final search results,
some of those videos really took off. Others, well, not so much. I quickly realized that creating consistent content was a challenge, especially when you're buying gear out of your own pocket. Big brands, well, they mostly ignored me. Creative and Biodynamic didn't even reply to my emails. Corsair, on the other hand, sent some encouraging words, but nothing more. It was frustrating, but in hindsight, it also gave me total freedom. I could say exactly what I thought about a product, good or bad, without worrying to upset the sponsors. And trust me, I took full advantage of that freedom. When I reviewed Creative's overpriced X7, I called it out. When JBL dropped a headset that looked like a Christmas tree and sounded even worse, I didn't hold back. Honesty has always been my policy, and I think that's why so many of you stuck around. Now, over the years, I've reviewed some amazing gear like the Hadis Digital to Analog Converter, the inline Bluetooth receiver, stuff I still use to this day. I've encountered some absolute disasters, like the Hackabis amp and the Digital Life DAC, which are now somewhere where they belong, rotting in a landfill. Now let's talk about something that happened a few months ago, the moment that changed my view of creating content. I accidentally deleted years worth of script, research and raw footage. To make matters worse, my backups were corrupted. Luckily I did save the raw footage for the most part, but the scripts and research are now lost. I imagine losing plans for major projects like sound card comparison videos or this year's Christmas special. It felt like I wiped out, hours of gameplay without saving. Now that loss hit me hard, combined with the sheer time and effort for me that it takes to create, quality content. It made me realize that my passion for this channel was fading. Right now I've got the Creative X4 on my desk, a review I know many of you want to see, but every time I sit down to work on it, I feel stuck. The passion has gone. And this made me realize that I need to slow down and even cut back on the releases that I'm making. I'd really love to see you all stick around and stay subscribed, even if new content comes a little less frequently. Your support means the world to me, and I want to keep sharing what I can with you, whether it's new product reviews, thoughts on new tech, or just look back at some of the best moments from the channel. So, if you're still with me, I'd be grateful to have you here as part of the journey, no matter where it leads. And if anyone is interested in a collaboration or just wants to work together on something cool, feel free to reach out. I'm always open to new ideas and partnerships. Now before I go, I want to say thank you to my Friday night crew. Thank you for tolerating my endless nerdy tangents and mic tests. To my Ukrainian friend, I hope you're safe. To my cousin, who was always there to help review the shirt I was wearing in a particular video. To my viewers, your support and feedback have meant the world to me, and a huge thank you, of course, to my wife. She's been my rock throughout this journey and in my life. Now, and if you've made it to this end of this video, I'd like to thank you. You're a true legend. Goodbye for now, and who knows, maybe I'll see you in the next one. See you then. Bye-bye.